Alright guys, let's get this show on the road. So first, as always, I have this thing about doing my eyebrows before I do anything else. And honestly, it's just a personal preference of mine that I have because for me, once my eyebrows are done, I can kind of see where my look's already going based on how I decided to do the eyebrows. So I'm going to go in with my Anastasia Dip Brow in dark brown with an angled brush from MAC Cosmetics. I'm going to start by making sure my brush is completely clean and pinched together so I have precise control of the bristles and where I put the product. I always like to start by filling in my eyebrows on the bottom part, creating a line to kind of guide the rest of the way, and then I fill it in as I go. Basically just following the mood of the makeup that I'm doing, so the more intense that I want it, the more product I'll use, the more natural, the less. The most common question I get about how I do my eyebrows is how I get them to look so thick. Honestly, that's just because I have really thick eyebrows as is. They're super dark, they're super coarse, and they're super thick. So it kind of makes my job a little bit easier. But what I will say, because I have tons of friends that have like the sexiest brows you've ever seen and they don't have full brows naturally, it's all about the product and the brush that you use and the technique that you use with them. So what I would recommend doing is just practicing. Practice, practice, practice. And until you find the exact right way that you like your eyebrows to look. So off camera, I went ahead and finished both eyebrows, cleaned them up with just a little bit of concealer, my MAC Cosmetics. Which one was it? I usually use the Pro Longwear Concealer, but this time I used the Studio Finish because of the texture. So I use that in NC35 to highlight underneath my brow. Now I'm just putting on some eyeshadow primer for the look we're going to do. I don't always wear eyeshadow primer because honestly, the really high-end, beautiful, pigmented quality shadows, you don't always need them. But I put it on as a precaution just to make sure that my colors don't fade, my eyelid grease or grease oil doesn't come through. And also it does help the colors pop and have them have that natural vibrance that they have show up on your skin better than just on your natural skin without the primer. Now I'm going to use one of my favorite cheats, which is tape. I'm going to put it as even as possible on both sides on my eye. This is going to help me keep the shadows within the certain range that I wanted the look to follow. And it's a really great way for people who are just beginning to do eyeliner. This way you just follow the line of the tape and then fill it in with the rest of your eyelid. And you get used to holding the brush a certain way and what looks best on your eye. And eventually you can take the tape off and be a pro winged liner. Alright guys, and here is the beautiful Smashbox Master Class Palette 2, which every single shadow I use will come directly from this palette. Let's get started. I am going to take this beautiful color called Sable and buff that bad boy into my crease, not being too precise, just kind of fluffing it in there, getting not too far up to the brow bone, but pretty high up because it's going to be a transition color. And I'm putting that on with my 217. I'm just going to make short little strokes and blend it in as I go. It is definitely a muted brown, so it has like some gray in it and stuff like that. So you really, really want to blend this out to avoid it looking like dirt or like someone punched you in the eye. We are now taking this beautiful color called Mocha. It is definitely like, it looks like a shimmery brown in the palette, but it's definitely just a matte, beautiful brown. It's not as deep as Java, which is right beside it, so we're going to use that first. And I'm going to focus on putting that shadow in the very, very outer part and upper part of my brow bone to add some depth in there. This will not only make my eyes seem longer, but deeper and add more dimension in there with a more of a sultry look. The deeper your eye crease is, in my opinion, the more sultry the makeup looks when it's on. This beautifully, ridiculously beautiful color is Java. I'm a huge sucker for browns, and this one is definitely one of the most beautiful. I'm going to apply it with a much more tapered out brush to have more control over the product. I want to place this on the very outside of my V, but I want to focus on the middle and the bottom part of my V. This way it's going to have that gradient effect where it goes from darker to lighter and you can't tell where one starts or ends. It's also going to help elongate the eye, add that sultry look and that dimension. It's also going to help with the eyeliner. So if you mess up with your eyeliner, this dark, dark brown will give you a little bit of room to play and fix it so it's not so noticeable. I went ahead and decided I wanted it to be even more dramatic and even more intense. So I went ahead and added Blackout from the palette with a smudge brush. And I'm just going to go ahead and really, really deepen and darken that very, 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 very outside of my outer eye. Now we're on to the pop. I'm going to go ahead and take my flat shader brush from MAC and douse it in Fix Plus. This is going to help the shadow stick better to my brush and onto my eye. I'm going to take the color Champagne and I'm going to pack that on my lid. So I'm going to literally push the shadow flat against my eyelid until I have the desired coverage. This way you're not going to have a lot of fallout and you're also going to get much more pigment out of the shadow. I am taking a very, very, very thin eyeliner brush from MAC Cosmetics and my number 77 Inglot eyeliner in black. And I'm going to start, as you saw, with the part that's already taped to help guide the rest of the way I'm going to do my eyeliner. So the higher up I go with my wing, the more I'm going to fill in. The lower, the less I'm going to fill in on my actual eyelid. And I'm just going to go slowly, slowly and build that wing up to the way that I want it. The tape really, really helps you have control and make sure that no matter how much you put, you're still going to have that really sharp wing. I'm going to take the tape off to see what progress I've made, and I'm already liking what I'm seeing. So now I know that I need to make the upper part of my wing lighter a little bit more intense and a little bit thicker to go with the look that I'm going for. So I'm going to go back through and I'm going to thicken it up just a little bit, starting from the wing and moving into my eyelid to keep from making it too thick. With liner, it honestly depends on what you're best with. Some people are really good at just making one long stroke. I wish I was that person because I'm just not. I have to slowly, slowly build my eyeliner up, little dash and little stroke by stroke. Now that I'm completely happy with my eyeliner, I'm going to douse my eyelashes in mascara. I'm using a brush that is much, much smaller than normal mascara brushes because this one lets me get into every single little hair and get extremely close to the inner part of my eyes. So I'm going to layer like 3 layers of this thing. This is going to help hold my false eyelashes up and add to the dramatic look with the eyelashes already stacked on top. No makeup look is complete to me without false lashes. These are my all-time favorite from Glamours Mink Lashes. These are the CEO. They're my favorite pair. They're so sexy, so full, and every time I put them on, it takes my makeup from a 1 to 100 in like 5 seconds. I'll be offering a coupon code for you lovelies that I'll put both in the description bar of this video and on my Instagram at JasmineGale_. It's definitely worth it. These lashes last forever. I think the first pair she sent me was over like 6 months ago and I still had them and I still use them. I'm just going to quickly take the same eyeliner and the same brush and add some eyeliner on the bottom part of my outer lash line. I'm not going to take it any further than halfway because I have something else cute and exciting planned for the inner part. I'm taking this glittery, ridiculously cute, I think they're called like liquid liners, glittery liquid liners, and I'm going to put as much as I can without clumping it together on that very inner part of my eye and connecting it with the eyeliner. I'm going to really quickly go into the face. I'm going to prep my skin with MAC Prep and Prime Yellow, and I'm going to be using my Cover FX foundation, and I'm going to be using the Cover FX contour palette in medium. It is my favorite contour palette on the market. That is just my personal opinion, and I will go into a video with how to contour and highlight with just that palette later on. So this is going to focus more on the eyes, and we're done with those. So I'll let you see the little quick tutorial that I showed of me putting on the face products, and then it's going to be a wrap. I first want to thank all of you badass people for being so supportive and helping me get to the place where I'm at today. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and feel free to follow me on my Instagram as well. Once again, every single shadow I used except for the NYX liquid eyeliner was from the Smashbox Masterclass Palette 2. Thanks, guys.